Hello, this is part 12 of our preparation for NSE4 exam. And now we would like to talk about forward domains. Forward domains by default are interfaces on a VDOM belong to the same broadcast domain, even interfaces with different VLAN IDs. Broadcast domains that contain multiple interfaces can be very large, and unnecessary broadcast traffic to some LAN segments, so they cause a broadcast storm. Use this command to subdivide a VDOM into multiple broadcast domains. Config system interface, edit interface name, set forward domain, domain ID, and interfaces with some domain IDs belong to the same broadcast domain. VDOM confirmation prompt added so that users do not create new VDOMs accidentally in CLI, in command line interface. Config system global, set edit VDOM prompt, enable or disable, and VDOM confirmation prompt is disabled by default. When enabled, if administrator creates a new virtual domain, FortiGate displays prompt before creating it. In input VDOM doesn't exist. Do you want to create a new VDOM? Assigning interfaces to each VDOM. In graphical user interface, we go to Global, Network, Interfaces, Virtual Domain, VDOM 1, then Edit Interface. From command line interface, we put commands: config global, config system interface, edit, set VDOM, put VDOM name, and each interface, physical interface, can belong to only one virtual domain. Moving from one to another is not associated with other references or firewall policies. Global settings affect all configured VDOMs. Global settings affect all configured VDOMs, and they include host name, HA, high availability settings, FortiGuard settings, system time, administrative accounts. Per VDOM settings configured separately for each VDOM. Operating mode, it is transparent or NAT route mode, next generation firewall mode, profile-based or policy-based, routes and network interfaces, firewall policies, security profiles. When you log in with account admin, you have access to all VDOMs. VDOMs could be global, root, VDOM 1. There is a selector drop-down list. Accessing from command line interface global settings is config global, global. Accessing per VDOM settings. Config VDOM, edit VDOM. VDOM names are case sensitive. Use the correct case or FortiGate will create a new VDOM. Or enable confirmation prompt. Executing global and per-VDOM commands from any context, global or VDOM name, hashtag sudo, global or VDOM name, diagnose, execute, show or get, without switching backwards and forwards the VDOM global context. Global security profiles for multiple VDOMs. Global profiles support the following features: antivirus, application control, intrusion prevention, web filtering. Profiles are read-only for VDOM level administrators. Profiles must edit or delete only from global settings. Global profile name must be with G dash. It starts and it identifies global profile. Some features, for example, URL filtering, is not available for global profiles. Each feature has at least one default global profile. Firewall policies per VDOM, new generation firewall mode. FortiGuard settings are global settings, for example, host name. Inter-VDOM links can connect different VDOMs. Inter-VDOM links support varieties by VDOM operating mode. They could be net to net, network address translation to network address translation, network address translation to transparent, transparent to net, and for net to net, net to transparent, and transparent to net, no need to loop a physical cable between VDOMs. And it's not possible to have transparent because it's layer 3 and potential layer 2 loops. They must be on the same subnet, point-to-point network connection, net to net. Inter-VDOM links allow VDOMs to communicate. Traffic is not required to leave a physical interface then re-enter FortiGate. Fewer physical interfaces or cables are required, and this prevents wasting of physical interfaces and eliminates the need of a loopback cable. Routes are required to forward the traffic from one VDOM to another. Firewall policies are also required to allow traffic from other VDOMs, the same as traffic coming from physical interfaces. Creating inter-VDOM links. In graphical user interface, we put global, network, interfaces, and then click on Create New Link. Inter-VDOM link acceleration. FortiGate devices with NP4 or NP6 processors include inter-VDOM links that FortiGate can use to accelerate inter-VDOM link traffic, each with 2 accelerated inter-VDOM interfaces. So it's NPU0 underscore VLink. It could be VLink 1 and VLink 0, NPU1 underscore VLink. It could be VLink 0 or 1. These interfaces are visible on the GUI, graphical user interface, and on CLI, on command line interface. What is the requirement for creating an inter-VDOM link between two VDOMs? At least one of two VDOMs must be operating in NAT mode. It is not possible to have two inter-VDOM links to be transparent. At least one of them should be in network address translation mode. Question 2. Which VDOM link requires that both sides of the link to be assigned an IP address? Network address translation to network address translation. NAT to NAT. As we know, for network address translation, we have IP addresses assigned to the interface. Best practices and troubleshooting. System resource allocation. Global resources limit apply to resources shared with the whole FortiGate. VDOM resource limits per VDOM resource settings are set to have guarantees a per VDOM minimum resource allocation. No VDOM can starve to others of the device resources. To reach global resource limit settings, we open graphical user interface and search global system global resources. For VDOM resource limits, we open global system VDOM per VDOM. VDOM monitor displays CPU utilization and memory utilization. Create a VDOM specific admin account for each VDOM. It is a best practice. Best practice is to avoid giving super admin access. VDOM admin has difficulty gaining access, then confirm the admin VDOM, the virtual domain interfaces, the admin's access privileges, trusted host, and IP address. Troubleshooting VDOM. We can use commands like ping and traceroute. Perform sniffer trace, see packet capture. Diagnose sniffer packet, interface name, filter, verbose, count. To perform packet flow trace, diagnose debug enable, diagnose debug flow filter address, diagnose debug flow trace start 100. Question: what is a possible reason why the admin might not be able to gain access to a specific VDOM? The admin is using an IP address that is not specified as a trusted host. Which troubleshooting tool is the most suitable when trying to verify the firewall policy used by inter-VDOM link? Packet flow trace. Thank you. See you next time.